Hey guys, what's up? Tyler here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about whether or not this is the last generation of video game consoles, and whether or not we are going to be soon seeing the death of console gaming. And before we actually get into that, let's just talk about mobile gaming on things like the iPad, Android tablets, phones, and stuff like the iPod Touch. And so, in general, the games on those are getting better. The graphics are getting better. The new processors and graphics processors in these tablets and phones are getting more powerful, and so the games can run quicker, faster, load faster, more complex graphics, more complex gameplay, and some of the games are very addicting. Take Angry Birds, for example. That game literally has just taken off. There's like 5 different Angry Birds games, relatively all the same, but still there's 5 different games, each with their own different unique abilities and features. But the game is extremely popular. A lot of people have kind of said it's the Super Mario Brothers of the App Store, since it kind of really just stands out among the rest of games on the App Store, and it's still like #1 after how many years. But there's things like Angry Birds, Infinity Blade, Cut the Rope, all these other kinds of games, and there is a very decently strong gaming base on these mobile devices. And now, some people are saying these devices are getting stronger, there's more compact, we can fit stronger components, more powerful components into a smaller casing. Therefore, eventually, these things like the iPad and the iPhones and stuff like that are going to eventually replace console gaming. And now let's take a look at it from somebody who's been gaming their whole life and from a gamer's perspective. If you're in the video game sphere or whatever you want to call it, you know for a fact that console gaming is not dying anytime soon, if ever. And this is definitely not the last generation of consoles. I look at something like the iPad and Angry Birds. I say that's a great game, but it's not going to replace things that I play on consoles. And so, in terms of being the last generation of consoles, that's just no chance happening. There's constantly improved graphics. 4K TVs are going to be coming out, so consoles are going to soon enough be pumping out 4K content. There are new controllers that are always being redesigned. Technology gets more powerful, more hard drive space on these gaming consoles, more powerful. It can run more things at a time, quicker loading speeds, all that kind of stuff. All these different upgrades and stuff probably we're not even thinking of right now are going to be included in these new consoles further on down the years. But I do think there is going to be a larger gap between console releases. And that's just kind of where it's been at for the past couple years. It's been how many years since the Xbox 360, PS3, and the Wii got released? It's been a long time. But as far as the death, that's not coming anytime soon. And here's why. If you're a gamer and you play local multiplayer games, you know for a fact you cannot replicate that experience on something like the iPad, because you're not going to fit 4 people around one iPad screen and trying to play, or even worse, around one phone screen. Okay, let's play a racing game, 4 people on this one little phone. And now, granted, mobile devices you can play wirelessly with each other, everybody with their own screen. But if they don't have a smartphone or a $500 tablet, they're not going to be playing. And so whenever you're playing locally with people on a console, let's take Super Smash Brothers for example, you have one console, one game, 4 controllers, 4 people, 1 TV. You don't each need your own console or phone to play on. And so I don't think these type of games on phones or iPads will ever replace local community gaming. Nothing's going to beat playing a video game with a bunch of your roommates out at school or with your family. Nothing can really replace that, at least that I have seen in terms of mobile gaming. Also, online gaming for consoles is in a completely different league than mobile gaming on mobile devices. And when I say mobile gaming, I mean phones, tablets, stuff like that. I'm not talking about PS Vita or 3DS or anything like that. Mobile gaming means like on a phone. And so online on mobile devices is okay. There's like leaderboards, rankings, and sometimes you can play live with other people online. But the online experience for console gaming is just completely out of the ballpark compared. There's really no comparison. I mean, maybe a little bit if you want to make a comparison, but just the sheer amount of online ability there are with console gaming just really outweighs the mobile department, I think. Another thing that really makes console games stand out from these mobile games is just the immersion in the game. I mean, I'm playing Angry Birds on here. I guess I'm into the game, but I'm not really into the game. But if I'm playing something like Zelda or Metroid and I have a controller in my hand, this big TV in front of me, or even a small TV, you feel much more immersed in the game. And whenever you're using a controller, you get a lot more tactile feedback. Now, I know they're working on controllers for devices like this, but it's just different with a console, with an actual physical controller that is dedicated for that console, not some third-party add-on. It's just different. You're immersed into the game. You're immersed into Super Mario 64. I remember playing that game for the first time. It's like you're in this whole world. I don't feel like I'm in the world of Angry Birds or any other game that I've played. I've played more than Angry Birds. I mean, I just don't feel like I'm inside the world of that game whenever you're playing it. It's just a whole different feeling of immersion on mobile, or not mobile, on actual gaming consoles. And here's one big thing that I don't think a lot of people have thought of, and that is the games themselves. Let's take Nintendo, for example, because that's what I know and that's what I play, and so I'm going to talk about them from experience. I can guarantee you, you will never, ever, ever see Mario on the App Store by Nintendo. Ever. I'm pretty sure Nintendo would rather die as a company, go bankrupt, before they would sell the rights to put Mario on other platforms legally. Now, I know you can get emulators and you can jailbreak stuff and run emulators, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about making purchases and selling stuff, legal stuff, business stuff, selling their franchises and putting them on other consoles. That's never going to happen. Never. Nintendo has way too much pride in their consoles and their franchises, to do that. And so you will never see Mario, you'll never see Zelda, Metroid, Star Fox, Kirby, Smash Brothers, Pikmin. You will never see any of those franchises on an iPhone, on an Android device, on a BlackBerry device, or on any device that's not Nintendo. You just won't, because that's their pride and joy. That is what they are relying on a lot to drive their sales, and you will never see that. And so if console gaming died, where are you going to get your Mario fix? You aren't going to be playing Mario on here, because I'm pretty sure Nintendo would take Mario to the grave. And so that's one thing I don't think a lot of people will consider. A lot of these hardcore, stationary, fundamental games like Mario would be gone if console gaming would just disappear. And with consoles would go like 3DS and PS Vita. And so I'm sure Microsoft and Sony have IPs, intellectual property, that they would not be giving up to Apple. Now, I know companies like Sega and Capcom are a little bit more relaxed. Things like Mega Man and Sonic do make it to the App Store, but those are not specifically owned by Nintendo. They're just third party. And so that's just something I really haven't seen anybody talk about, is the intellectual property of games and certain games never coming to the App Store. And so overall, if you're a gamer, you know that console gaming is not going to die. I mean, PC gaming is not going to die. I don't want to forget about you PC gamers. That's not going to die anytime soon. On the other side of the fence, in defense of people who think mobile gaming might take over console gaming, if you're not in the gaming atmosphere, you might not see what we see. We see like a community. We see like there's this whole different world in gaming. Somebody who's from an outsider looking in, who just knows about tech and says, hey, this iPad is beast. It can play Infinity Blade. It looks great. It looks just as good as a console. They don't know about all the specs and stuff of the consoles. They just see the iPad and they say, hey, I know in the future this is going to improve. More powerful tech is going to be stuffed into a smaller area. This has the potential of being a console killer. I can kind of see where they're coming from. But if you're in the gaming world, you know that that's just not going to happen. Just because there's certain things like local gameplay, online stuff, immersion, and the games themselves, they'll just never get replaced by other stuff. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this. I know a lot of people probably would agree with me, but there might be some who don't, and that's perfectly fine. You're entitled to your opinions, but as a gamer, I just don't see it happening anytime soon. So we'll see. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like. Also subscribe for more tech and game related videos, and make sure to check out my social links. They're all in the description below. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.